Welcome everybody. This is Monkeypuzzle, and I'm about to start part 2 of building this mob flusher in survival on my homeworld. If you didn't watch the previous videos, the structure you see in front of me is a creative mode prototype of a self-flushing mob item farm that includes endermen in the water stream. I'm going to put a link to that video on the fish in my hand if you want to see the concept in action, and on the opposite corner is a link to part 1 of this survival build, the part 2 of which I'm going to start after a pause, long enough to let you click on them if you haven't seen them yet. I'll put them in the description too, in case you're on something mobile. And without further ado, so before I finish inside of the mob flusher, or whatever you guys decide I should call it, I think I'm going to build the place where they die down here first. Because I think there's a chance when I do the interior decorating that I'm going to start getting some mob spawns. So I want to just be prepared in case that starts happening, so I don't end up with a bunch in here and not a way to deal with them. So I'm going to put the fence posts here. That's actually going to be... I was going to put them lower, but I think it's going to be easier for me to put them up here the way things work out. If they're where I'm standing, they're 26 blocks above, that would make this 25, 24. They'd actually land at 24, which should be more than enough to kill them, really. The endermen don't die without a 43 block drop, I believe. But since we're not going to provide that, the water in here is going to end up killing them anyway, so hopefully that's how it's going to work. Probably shouldn't have put these in place yet. Let me give myself a way to get up there. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I've got to get water coming in. Oops. Pick's just a little bit too good. And don't worry, I go back down to reclaim everything between takes. I just don't bother you guys with how many times I've jumped in the water to reclaim glass and blocks and everything else. So I'm going to put water here to flow in that way. Yeah, and I would just put a block on the outside to stop it. I guess I could if I put water on it. It's the whole thing about not giving the enderman a place to land. But yeah, we could do it that way. Let me see. Because the other way I was going to do it was with signs on the outside, but then there's always the chance that a spider could crawl out. Unlikely, but they might. Alright. There. Break that off. And replace... Oh, I don't have any more glass. Alright, I'm going to take. I'm going to go get my stuff. Be right back. In order to just take this back 2 blocks on these 3 sides so I can place water sources in there, had to have 4 blocks sticking out. Each of those 4 blocks needs a water source block on top of it. So that that doesn't become a teleporting spot for the ender dudes. Okay, so now we can fill this full of fences and put source blocks behind. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start that. It's gonna be a little tricky fighting the water streams. Okay, I've got to this point with this big mess, or it's this beautiful fountain. The reason I put the fence posts under the water is because the fence posts are count as like 1.5 or 2 blocks tall, so they actually extend up into the water streams and help keep the water streams from actually being a safe fall for the mobs, at least theoretically. So this next part I'm going to sort of design on the fly. Since I experienced in the creative world that they didn't all die, I'm going to put in a sizzler of sorts here to make sure that they die. And figure out how this is going to go. No, I don't want to do that. Let me think about this for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I got this figured out. I gotta change the fence posts to, I gotta change them to a regular block before I try to drop the mobs down, because if they try to pass through a too high space from a fence post, it won't work because they're actually above that officially. So I'm going to stop the water here and do the same on the other side. Okay, that makes things a little easier. And then I'm going to put lava in here. And so I'm going to stop it from going that way there. Okay. Lava's going to go on that level. I'm going to take it back one so it's actually a lava blade and not straight lava, which is a little less likely, hopefully, to destroy everything, all the drops and such. Okay, so if the lava is going to go in there, I'm going to have to cap this off here. I believe we're going to have to take this back a few blocks. So let's start that process. Yeah, let's cap off the lava. So it won't flow back. Okay, so now we got a place to put lava. And we might be there for the most part. Let's put some water in here. And there. So that hopefully nobody gets out alive. And then at this point, we're going to have pressure plates. I could have actually been more slick. Yeah, let's be more slick. Why not? Alright, this is going to be a big old long tutorial. This part is me figuring out as I go. Alright, we're going to get all the stuff to come over to one side like that. And then we're going to put pressure plate there. So all their stuff ends up at one spot. Okay, so let's put the lava in very carefully. Lava, glass, mess. Jump in the water. Whew. Yes, I did not win the speed challenge there. Alright, I think we might have a functioning mob dispatcher here. We will find out. And there might be more tweaking later. But on to the rest. Okay, time for the interior decorating. First, a little lag there. Okay, first, yeah, bad time for lag. We're going to just fill this hole in with signs. It's not necessary for the water flows because we've designed it so that the water doesn't fall into the hole at all. The streams end right before it. But I think it may help with mobs falling down. With the new AI, purportedly, they don't fall off signs, and they honestly don't reliably fall off signs, but I have found that this helps. We do get extra mob drops from this. Alright, that's the finished deal right there. And then we're going to go on ahead and we're going to cover these corners entirely with pressure plates. Now this is the way to do it without excluding spiders. If you wanted to exclude spiders, it would be pretty easy. We just have to put in some half slabs. I've been putting them. Let's see. You can put them there, or one there, depending on how you want to do it. You can put it there, and then you just got to break it up one more time over here like say here and here. So if you put it in those three spaces, you wouldn't get them here, and then you have to just make it a similar pattern down there. If you put if you put the half slabs down on the lower level, you'd also have to put pressure plates between them all so that the water flowed right. We're just going to do it this way right now. We're also going to put in pressure plates right here, because I found with our pad here, you can, man, the leg. With our pad, this will also activate the pad too, so it just gives us a few more spots that the mobs can activate. Let's keep some torches in here for the moment. Might be getting a little dark up there. Once we're done with this, we can pretty much seal it off in here, I believe. Just have a little aesthetic thing to fix here. Alright, I've finished the essential piece of putting the pressure plates on all four corners here, and then one line of them in front, since that will also activate the redstone pads below. That gives us a total of 144 pressure plates, 2¼ stacks of them. And out of 312 spawning spaces, how many spots that can actually be activated, or to set off the flush. So it won't flush off as soon as mobs spawn, but there's a certain threshold on which it will happen. I went ahead and put some glowstone up there in the interest of keeping some peace and quiet while we finish doing the circuitry up here on the top, or actually do the circuitry up on the top. So I'm going to design it so I can walk in here. I went ahead and I got smart and printed myself a overhead screenshot of what it looks like from above. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that screenshot right here so that you can pause if you want and refer to it. Even better yet, you could put this video into full screen at 720 and grab a screenshot. And please note that the black cat on the block at the output from the AND gate, that black cat is crucial for the device working correctly. So with that in mind, the first thing we got to do is bring power up from those pads below, and this is also going to complete our AND gate. Or it's going to be the first half of our AND gate, rather. So what we want to do, we've got this line here. We want to go in 1, 2, 3 spots, and then put down a block here and a block here. And then cover this whole line with redstone. There. And then we'll come back to it, because we're going to have to treat it a little bit differently on both sides. Let's orient ourselves again. There's our ladder coming up. So coming in from this side, again, 1, 2, 3. We get a block there, and there. Okay. And then, give me a moment. Okay, got it. So the way this is going to work is the pistons are going to be powered by a line that comes around this way. So it's going to be coming through here, and these two lines have to cross. So we're going to put a repeater on top of here, and we're going to put a repeater going in here. And then we've got to bring that through. So we're going to knock that out, and I've put 2 blocks under here. It's a little awkward, but you're going to need that in order to do the next step. And I put it out here. It's not going to block any mobs during the flush. So back up. And then in here we have to put another repeater. Signals going through, and then at the end there's going to be a little wall that goes through along here, a piece of dust there, and we've got a connection. And the other side is going to be a little simpler. We don't have to cross the line here so we can bring it up to here. Put the repeater, and oops, sorry, I did that wrong. Okay, so knock that out. Have to bring this up all the way to here, and then here we'll put a repeater. Alternatively, we could put two repeaters, one there and one there, and then that's going to take us through our little inside perimeter wall again, and we're going to get a signal that comes out over here. Okay, it's nice and hot, so we're good. One more little bit I missed when I put the roof on is I forgot that we're going to continue this on up. So we got to open this up right there, and the whole little cross has to be opened up here. So, and that's going to also help as a marker for the wiring upstairs, so I can keep my bearings a little bit better. Okay, so let's try to finish up the rest of this wiring. If you get lost as I'm doing this, you can just refer back again to that overhead screenshot. So from what I'm calling the front here, where you come up from the ladder, go over to the left, and where this AND gate is right here, we're going to, let me see, right at the, it's going to be a lot easier to do if we put in the signal that powers the pistons, excuse me. So it's going to start, the line for that is going to start right over here somewhere. So we're just going to start it here, about 3 from the edge, and it's going to wrap its way around, and then it's got to go over to the piston over here, and then right here we're going to put a repeater just to carry the signal all the way around, and we're going to go this way. We're going to put another one right here, and we're just going to take this all the way around. This is that area I told you we were going to have to cross it, and we're going to come to here, and then one more time to over here. We're going to put another repeater here, and then we're going to take the signal to the final spot right there. Grab that. Using a lot of redstone dust, can't afford to lose it. So that's going to help us with the rest of this layout, because we're going to need to see what's going on as we do this. Okay, so there's the ladder. Just orienting myself again. So we're going to bring the signal in from the two sides, from the AND gates, to make the second level AND gate. So from here you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, out of dust. Gonna need to get some more. And then from here you do the same thing. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can tell you right now that this is where the signal is going to go to the rest of the circuit. While we're doing this, let's just make this a little safer over here. We're going to start putting the next tube to the next level around this hole, like so. And I'm going to take it up another level as well. Put that there, and keep going all the way around. Okay, now that that's in place, it's also going to help serve as a marker for what we need to do. This other signal from the other side, we're going to take it all the way down this way as close as we can. So we could put it there, and actually we're going to, and then it comes around like that, and then it keeps going all the way over. I'm looking at my diagram if I do this. Sorry if I pause occasionally. Actually, it goes like this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, sorry about that. And then it's going to run out of juice at some point. let's see, if we cut this line here, that one makes it there fine. And you can see this one runs out right about there. So that's where it needs a repeater. Keep it going. So yeah, those two sides now have an overlap right there. So both of them have to be off in order for this to be off. So then this right here, we're going to put a block, and the other side of the block goes a torch. This torch will only be on when the requisite number of pressure plates are activated. Okay, so we're going to draw a line off of that, take that line over two more, come over enough to be able to come back one, and then this is where the first part of our RS NOR latch is going to go. And if you've ever done an RS NOR latch, you'd know you come, the way this one's going to sit too is going to go for one over, well, 1, 2 over, and 1, 2 this way. Boom. And then they're going to need torches on the inside. So if it comes, if the reset comes there, then the torch is on the other side, and then same with this one. And you connect those two with 2 pieces of dust there and 2 pieces of dust there, and the thing is off now like it's supposed to be. That turns on, signal comes around, turns this off, which then turns this on, and then we have a signal. And from there is where we're going to draw the signal that turns the pistons on, which opens the valves basically and lets the water in and flushes the whole thing. And this wall is going to keep coming around. So this is where the power comes in that does this whole line. Now I'm just going to help us see what's going on here. So the wall is going to keep going like that. So the next thing we need to do, we've got the line that turns all the pistons on when this happens, and the next thing is we need to put in the delay circuit that takes its time to come around and turn this on again, which will, turn this off again, which is then going to stop the flushing. But the delay is long enough to get a full flush of the mobs. Otherwise, we'd only get partial flushes each time. So we're going to do this with as many repeaters as possible, basically. It's going to go like this. And all of them are going to be at full delay. Okay, so we're going to come around like this. And I'm going to go down all the way to the end of this line, and I'll meet you when I get there. Okay, we're there. I'm going to do a fancy turnaround here. If I put redstone right here, it would connect with these. But we've got our perimeter wall that's going to be going around like this, right here. And the way I'm going to turn this around, actually, is not like that, but with a piece of redstone going into here. Now you can power a block with a piece of redstone, but not strong enough for the piece of redstone on the other side to pick it up. So that's not going to interfere with that line, and we're going to pick it up over here with a repeater. A repeater can pull that power out. So, and then we're going to keep this going. Let me take a quick look here, figure out where I'm at. This is going to go for 4 repeaters, basically, as long as we can go this way. Any further, when we turn around, we connect with that one. Alright, and then this one we can do 2. Then we got to turn around again, and then we're going to do a whole line until basically we have to stop. So again, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, at the end, I'm going to put a piece of dust there and there, and we're going to take this back down again, one further than this line on the right, and I'll meet you there. Okay, that's the end of the line for that one. Out of dust. See you in a second. Back again with more dust. Keep going. And I counted them while I was gone, and it looks like about 39 repeaters. Supposed to be all at full delay. Looking at my overhead screenshot, I did catch one that wasn't. So this is going to be slightly longer. It's this long because it really just takes this long to flush the whole thing. If there's a better way to do this, someone let me know. I've seen delays done with piston tapes and stuff, but they're more complicated. And excuse me, when I did this, I also wanted to keep it one high. This area actually is going to be too high now. So I think that's basically all there is to it. This thing should be functional at this point. We're going to test it right now by, let's put in, let me see, let me figure out how to do this. We could put a button right here maybe. No, that won't do it. We could put a button there. That would do it. Let's make us a button. And I don't have a button. Be back again. Okay, I'm coming back up with some buttons and some levers. And I also brought a very important part is 4 buckets of water. So we're going to do that. And let's just do this to be safe. I forget. I think it works without this, but let's just do that. And go up. Oop. I'm going to put the water in each one of these spaces, just like that. Okay, here's the last one. So we got all our water in place. And then I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to put in this, which is triggers the automatic flush cycle manually, but it'll actually shut off. And then over here, I'm going to put in a manual switch, and that's how we turn this whole thing off and keeps things from spawning. Is we just turn the water streams on, you know, as long as we want, and then that way we'll be able to not have any mob spawns on. So if that's what we want. So first, let's test this. See, oops, the wrong way. I'm gonna not be there in time to see it. And things are looking good, I think. Did we get one over there? I have to check this out. Let's do it again. Why don't we just turn things on manually here first, and we'll see. We got a retracted piston there. We've got a retracted piston there. That's working. And that's working. So I think it's a go. Turn it off. And let's check this one more time again, just to make sure the thing shuts itself off. So this torch is now turned on. The repeater signal is going around its rounds, and take a certain amount of time to get back here. Not sure exactly how long that is. And boom, it's off again. So that's basically it for the guts of the layer. Just going to finish the perimeter wall here. Be right back with you after I do that. Okay, y'all, you came with me through one full module. I've got the wall all the way around. I went around, make sure everything's all got enough torches so that no mobs will spawn up here. Now, if I was only going to do this one module, I wouldn't have needed to make this hole, and I could just cap it all off. We're going to have to put a roof covered with water like I did in the rest of the spaces here, so there's no so that enderman can't teleport anywhere. The recording cut off there because the drive it was going on ran out of space, but it allows me to show you one more thing before I move on to building the next levels, is that when you cap this off, let's see if I can get up here, you do it just it's a little bit different than when we started before. You do it just with a flat cap, and then from here you go on and start like we did before, uh, where we don't know why I jumped there. So that you go ahead and just build your four wide spokes coming off the center like that. Oops. Finish that off, and then let's show you this part. Yeah, you build your four wide spokes. You fill it in with a step pattern so that it looks like this. And these triangles that are left are the paths that we built before, that we laid all the redstone on. We just don't have to go down lower to build them this time. We did it this way, made it all flat underneath, just so we don't have a 3-high ceiling down there in the circuit room. And you know why that's so. This little jag at the end is just where the little ladder platform meets up with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this layer and the next, and then I'll come back to finish the final touches with you, and we will then look at the finished product and see how it works. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope this was useful, and please join me in part 3.